Okay, I'm back, and wasn't sure if I'd do this, but I kind of said I would. So let's go to the fixed signs for May 2026. Let's start with Scorpio. And I noticed in the last video that I was trying to actually have less time with the reads, and it was like turning out to more because I did like this complicated Celtic cross with the mutable signs last night. So tonight, it went to like 1 o'clock or something. I got done, and I'm so tired today. And I'm tired right now, and it's really late, but I can't go to bed. So here I am. So we're gonna do fixed signs and start with Scorpio. We're going to do 5 cards: past, present, future, advice, and outcome. So Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for love, and Universal is divinely inspired. And this could be general reading, so we'll see if it leans towards love versus career, any of those things. But generally speaking, just kind of read the energy and not necessarily the story. But the stories could come out. We'll see what happens. All right, Scorpio. And I did hear actually good things for you that's hitting, I think, after 6 months of this year. So towards the end of June, that's when things are going to start getting better. You're almost there. All right, Scorpio. Past, present, future, advice, and outcome. Universal, divinely inspired spirit. Thank you so much. Angels, ancestors, guides, and dimensional beings. Reading is for Scorpio for the month of May. What's in the recent past? All right, recent past, that's the stress. Okay, so the never-ending nightmare card. On the mind, swords are of the mind, so person is completely stressed out. But notice they're in a comfortable bed too, so all is not lost. Basically, change your perspective. The way to defeat that card is to look to the future, which is the Ace of Wands, so being inspired again. And to also do the opposite of what the card called for. So have gratitude for your present being and not worry about the future or the past. All right, what is in the present for Scorpio? So you can move a little faster this time so you can get more to the point. I was rambling a lot last night. All right, what is the present for Scorpio? Justice. Okay. Perfect. So this is karma. So your karma is clearing right now. So whether the good and bad in your life, so even if you did bad things, because sometimes, we all make mistakes and we may interrupt someone else's karma and pick up karma from that, or we make poor choices that lead to being stressed out. But that pain is felt, and then karma is then enacted with the justice. So you're basically clearing, you're evening off right now, okay, and you're clearing out, which is good. All right, what's in the near future? And again, this is on my personal page, but check out the Mad Hermit Tarot, and you can message me for a free reading. And you can spread this too. I appreciate that. All right, what is in the near future for Scorpio? All right, so he's not going anywhere. He's juggling in place, but the good thing is that he's actually setting up a portal. He may not be going, to the right or left. He's kind of dancing side to side, but by creating this equilibrium here, this infinity, he's then he's moving in his own way, and he is moving forward towards victory too, which is great. So you think of that card as the choices that we make with our money, but also with our time and how we put forth our efforts and our talents. Basically dictate where we're going to be, okay? So that's a portal card for me. That means that things are moving along. Where are they going, Spirit? What's the advice? Advice is temperance. We saw this yesterday too. So a lot of the signs that have been through it, and Scorpio has certainly been one. And we had a Pluto retrograde recently with that Scorpio full moon. So everything is being drudged out right now. And I think that's this Wednesday, the retrograde in Pluto. So be very careful of how deep you go and any kind of arguments and things of that nature. A lot of things are going to be drudged up to the surface anyways, and people are going to be very sensitive. Okay, and the advice with the temperance here is the healing. Okay, so the angel here, Archangel Michael, he's alchemizing with these two cups, the emotion, in order to create a way of healing with one foot in the pool of universal subconscious and one foot on the land, meaning that you're able to channel spirit into basically becoming whole again. But once you become whole, you have to get back onto the path, which is behind him going to the sun. So it's a card of pause, but it's temporary pause while you heal and then move forward. And I think it kind of relates to this guy here, where he's dancing in place. He's getting his kind of his groove back and his balance back, which was the justice too. So there's a lot of like vibes of getting your balance, your balance for life back, so that you can move forward in a healed way. Okay. All right. What is the outcome for Scorpio spirit? Angels, masters, guides, and dimensional beings. Thank you so much. What's the outcome for Scorpio? Four of Wands. So it's the 1111 card. And it's a completion too. It's a happy event, celebration of a wedding, or some sort of graduation, that type of thing. And so that's what you're working towards with the 1111. There's a sun right behind it. And then there's also healed heart. So basically everything's turning around for you and you're getting your passion back in a major way. So when you see those numbers, the 1111s or 444, 333, you can look up that individual number and you'll get a certain message. But in general, whenever you're seeing those types of things, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's just basically saying that you're on the right path. And so I'm seeing that with this reading, with temperance here, and also justice, meaning you're evening yourself out, you're evening out your karma, and you're healing, and you're going forward with the Four of Wands. Okay, great. So the stress is behind you. Let's just clarify that Four of Wands. Let's see exactly what that celebration could be. I'm going to clarify that Four of Wands actually with this deck that's oracles. Kind of switching it up. I like to move in different ways with the cards. Don't get stale. This is what's this deck called? The Talisman Oracle. This one right here. One of my favorites. And if you didn't see that, that's it. It's pretty direct with its messages. That's why I like it. Good interpretation on it too. All right, let's get a couple cards. Let's see what's going on. Start with what's happening after the healing. We kind of get that part of it, but I want to see what's going on with that Four of Wands. What's that synchronicity leading to for Scorpio Spirit? Thank you so much. What's the story? Okay, so you're navigating. Okay, so you're moving from one state to the next, which is what we've been talking about. Kind of reclaiming your power and your balance. Okay, what's going on with this navigation? Magical power. Sorry. So magical power basically is that, like I was saying, getting your groove back or getting your mojo back, and you're going to start feeling those Scorpio-like defenses, but also that ability to really be like telepathic and not just express yourself through like your telepathic means, but also being able to read other people in that manner, which is famous for Scorpio. That protects yourself, and it also kind of helps you move the way that you should be moving, which is like very stealth-like. This picture of Scorpio is moving around. All right, what do we got? One more. Okay, so let go. So let go is going to be kind of like the key of how you should be releasing this, whatever it was in the past, whether it was good or bad, whether it happened to you or you caused it. Basically, the scales of justice has been evened out. So you've paid your price, and so you need to move on. Okay? And the good news is as you do move on, you do let that go, then, success just follows you. So that's awesome. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Leo. That was pretty straightforward. Didn't last like a half hour. That Pisces reading was like, just kept that going. This is the one last night. And I think they're saved on this page, and it's also on the Mad Hermit Tarot page. All right, Leo. What's going on, Leo? 5 cards again. Past, present, future, advice, and outcome. No reversal is divinely inspired. And maybe I'll pick out a different oracle this time. We got some cool ones here. Ooh. Queen of Wands just fell over for Leo, so that's good. It's a power card. Another fire sign card. Also very magnetic, which Leo should be. So it looks like everybody's starting to make a comeback, which is great. All right, Spirit, Angels, Ancestors, Guides, and Dimensional Beings readings for Leo. 5 cards. Past, present, future, advice, and outcome. No reversals. Divinely inspired. Thank you so much, Spirit. What's in the recent past for Leo? Okay, so that's another fire sign card, which is good. That means you are getting your ability to go venture out into new things and to explore new things. Also, that passion to do that. Get out of the house. And with springtime too, it's a great card for that, because he's holding the Ace of Wands here, which you can see is like growing the little buds, just like in springtime. So I'm seeing you venturing out more as the spring arrives. Things get warmer. Maybe someday in Connecticut. Not recently though. All right, what's present for Leo? Hermit. Okay. I like this card here. Basically, it shows that you've been healed and you're willing to go back into the world. So basically the story is he's on this mountain here, and he needs to take the hope that he's gained from his, his ego death. And so he's like basically released his trauma, and he's come out of the cave, and he's basically taking what he's learned from basically facing his ego within the cave and kind of dissolving himself and then coming out and beginning again. It's the hope for new life. That's the star that's there. And so that hope, basically, he needs to bring that down. Traditionally, he's on the mountaintop here. It looks like a Led Zeppelin album cover. And so he's got to take that down here to melt. Normally there's snow down here. He melts his feet so he can go into town and spread his knowledge. So that's basically where you're at, where you can go back out. You don't have to go preach about your circumstance or anything like that. But basically you need to go out and kind of be the new self, the new higher self, and meet other people and kind of, hang out and mingle and spread that new self around. And so that people can learn from that. Because there's everybody who goes through those ego death moments or those big transformations, they do it in their own way. And what happens is they have to take their own experience back out into the world. Not to preach it out, but to actually just be. Be that new person. How you were inspired by someone you saw at a gathering or someone you just met in a friend circle, and they actually showed you a different way of living or a different way of just being in socially. So now you're going to do that for other people. Okay, what's in the near future for Leo? This is really good for career, by the way, too, because then, you're going to be like a trendsetter. It's kind of what I'm seeing in this. What's in the near future for Leo? Thank you so much, Dave. Another Justice card. So a lot of people are basically clearing their karma in May, which is great. So the last few years, have been definitely ones of a lot of personal battles. There's been a lot of divorces. There's been a lot of people changing careers. There's been a lot of, not necessarily arguments, but, some things where, things were destructive. And basically, there's karma that's been accumulated either way, whether you're good or bad. And I kind of said this with the Scorpio reading. And so in the near future, what's happening is you're balancing your scales. And you're doing it with the truth. What did you learn from that ego death? That you're a new person and that you're leaving certain things behind, and you're resetting the scales of justice. Okay, clearing karma. What is the advice for Leo? Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, the advice is the Hierophant. So on this crown here, this level, he's got 3 different ways of, or the 3 different levels of spirit. They say it's like the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, or I think no, it's the mind, body, and soul. So what he teaches basically is the way to God is by devoting the mind, body, and soul to the way. And what that can be translated to is that having a clear mind helps to clear the body, and those 2 things can then help the soul. Or if you have a corrupted body or mind, then you'd use the opposite and basically to clear the path. And so what he does is he clears the path and then initiates others through there. This is also a choice too. It's a choice to be in this position. So as the Hierophant here, or like the Pope, he's basically giving out the word of God. Okay. Now we're not talking about the literal sense. You're going to go out and become a Bible thumper or something like that. What this means is the word that Spirit passes through you, and you're being initiated because you're understanding that your whole reality is basically a reflection of your mind, body, and spirit. And so once you choose basically to follow that way and to do it actively too. So he's the actual opposite of the high priestess, who does it kind of internally. He does it externally, like he's conducting mass here. So this is also encouraging you to, as you have now cleared your karma, as you reset and go into new ways, practice them like a religion. Okay, don't just think about that. Also kind of like practice what you preach kind of thing. It's a crossroads. Are you truly going to cement this new person to take the leap forward like the Fool and do it with confidence? Okay? Or are you going to go back to the old ways, which only, led you to the cycle of where you are now? I mean, you can repeat your cycle as many times as you want, but what this is encouraging you to do is actually to create your own religion inside of yourself and follow it so that you can become closer to Spirit and basically have a more smoother life too. What's the outcome, Spirit? Okay, so I like when this happens. This is kind of like one of my rules. When 2 cards split like this, it's a message. Actually, there's 3 because this other one's here on the other side. So I'm going to take all 3 of these and I'll show you what they are. Actually, I like how this is playing out. Let's see. There are no accidents in tarot. All right, so the first card that I saw was basically the first 2 combo. I saw the 5 of Cups to the 6 of Swords, meaning that something in your past, okay, the karma that is cleared, basically wasn't good for you. It could have been toxic in some sort of way, and you lost your joy for it. I've said the story a million times so far where, he's lost his taste for wine. He's not bummed out that he kicked the wine over. He's bummed out because the feeling is not the same. And I like this card different than other cards because he doesn't have the cloak on here. And so when I see the clear head right here, I see that he is more clear-headed, meaning that, he's actually had some time to contemplate the loss of what used to bring joy. And I think he's ready to, or he or she, to turn around and grab those 2 cups and get on with his life. Okay. And when he does that, it clears his mind, and the 6 of Swords comes in. Basically, though, he leaves only the clothes on his back, meaning that you're not bringing any of your past baggage. You're starting again new. You're moving from very kind of turbulent waters to more calm waters. But the way that you're going to do that and kind of move forward into a happy family, which is the last 2 cards that I saw on the spread, is basically by having clear boundaries. So it's going to be important for you to not repeat the mistakes of the past that got you out of balance. So your dream was to explore again anew. You basically changed yourself in order to set yourself up so that you can have hope again, okay? That's even the scales of justice, right here. So now you're reborn again new. It's very important. What Spirit's advising you is your advice right here is basically to mind, body, and soul. Keep yourself clean in that sense, right? And then let go of regrets, which is this card right here. Free your mind. And as you do that, you move to your happy family, happy life here. And so that resets your whole kind of perspective on, say, if you do have a family situation, you may appreciate it in a different way, or you may actually create a family, okay? But it's just full contentment either way. And you're doing that by protecting yourself. All right, Leo. I think it's kind of like a lesson reading where it's kind of like, teaching you about mind, body, and soul and how to like make a really positive pivot in your life. All right, let's get some funny advice cards, I think, for this one, just because that's kind of stale. Well, it's not stale in a bad way, but it's just not very exciting. And that's the way the readings turn sometimes. Maybe it's just a month for you to kind of like reset yourself, get your balance together, and then, June's going to be your month. But actually, Leo, Jupiter is going into Leo in July. So this is like a time for you to actually reset those things, because July you're going to be blessed with gifts and you're going to get like new people coming into your life. So it's a good time to actually reset. All right, so this deck actually is really fun. We'll get a couple of cards from that. It's called the Dead Inside deck. So I think that this reading is kind of dead inside because it's not very like, I mean, it's fine, but it's not like a season climax or anything like that. All right, let's get some dead inside. This could be advice. Usually it could be on love or anything like that. We'll see if we can kind of translate it. All right, Spirit, Angels, Ancestors, Guides, Dimensional Beings. Oracle cards for Leo. What is this? Okay, laughing through the pain. Very Leo-like with the mask there. Showing a brave face. Okay, so the pain of going into that cave is the hermit and coming out and laughing through it. Humor as a shield in disguise. And that could be advice, too. It's like, sometimes it's so bad, you just got to laugh at it. I mean, life is comical in a sick way. All right, what else for Leo? These cards are awesome. Putting off feeling again. All right, delayed grief. All right, we've all been there. And I think a lot of I'm a Leo rising, so, this is pretty much, the dead inside deck and kind of like getting ready to like recharge again and get back out there. And what you've been doing before that is kind of just like putting it off and just being like, it's okay to be numb inside. And that's true, actually, for a little bit, but that's ending now. All right, last card, Spirit. Faking confidence again. Insecurity, pretense, self-doubt. It says don't panic. So this is like really good Leo stuff. And basically I think this is kind of fake it till you make it. Like just get out there and do something. As the Leo, you got to get out in front, right? And you have to share your gifts, right? And give people confidence through your confidence. All right, cool. All right. This is like very educational reading. All right, let's go from Leo to Aquarius. And then we'll end with Taurus. Taurus birthday season. All right. Let's get another deck here. Let's go to, so for Aquarius, I've got Aquarius Venus in the I think it's the 7th house. So it's very spacey kind of love, where I'm just kind of floating out in space. You're wondering how I feel, and I feel great, but I'm just like kind of somewhere else. I guess, I don't know. Maybe that's what the problem is. Anyway. All right, so for Aquarius, in Vedic, I've got a lot of air. But you know, like I followed Vedic like very religiously for a long time. Well, I guess religiously is the wrong word, but I I basically I realized that I heard different things where like Vedic can be like a I think it's more of a down the road kind of prediction where Western is more immediate, and I kind of like the more immediate part of it. But I think they serve different kind of roles. It's like two sides of the same coin. So it's interesting. Can't really recite the definition right now, but for me, Western hits a lot quicker. I guess is the easiest way to say it. All right, what is for Aquarius? 5 cards, past, present, future, advice, and outcome, spirit, angels, ancestors, guides, and dimensional beings. Thank you so much. Only best for Aquarius and remain well. This is general reading for May. What is in the recent past for Aquarius? Recent past. Hanged Man. So now parts of this reading may be for you or it may not at all. Take it as it resonates, as they say, and leave different parts that don't work. Sometimes the energy, if I'm doing a reading for a collective, can kind of like paint a broad stroke. So you kind of just have to see how it fits, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. That's fine. Check your other placements. I'm doing this for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. But the Hangman here, basically in your recent past, you may have felt suspended, like held back from doing things. But that was to actually show you a different perspective. So you being held back and placed upside down here on the Tree of Life, I believe. And basically, when you're suspended like that and the hands are tied, there's nowhere to move, that's when you actually see something. It's kind of like if you take like sensory deprivation, right? And you take away all the different elements, you're going to see something different. And so this is what you've probably been doing in the recent past. I also do see nightmares of the past that you've been kind of cycling out. True love type of stuff that haven't worked out. Now, Pluto's in your sign too, so I believe it's in retrograde, so it's a time of you just going deep. I mean, you're probably watching old movies and, kind of maybe like sad old movies and kind of reflecting in a very cinematic way. But that's the kind of mood when Pluto's there, digging it all out and really kind of going deep and really exploring and processing those emotions that have been left behind. What's in the present for Aquarius? All right, so this is actually you kind of doing so much processing that you kind of pass out from it, and while you do that, Spirit's blessing you with healing. Okay, and also this card traditionally, there's a stained glass window where the night is being blessed. So it's basically, it's a blessing for you without doing anything. Just the fact that you're being affected in such a cosmic way in order to make you grow that you really don't have to do anything. You just have to survive it. Okay. And again, these are 2 suspended cards. So you may find that your life has been suspended right now. But that's for healing and to change your perspective, because hope is on its way after some sort of tower event. Okay, what is the near future for Aquarius? The Moon. So something deep within your subconscious is changing right now. You're going through a lot. This is deep. Okay, I mean, the other reading we had was kind of standard. I think we were talking about the Leo one kind of being standard. This one's going deep. Like you're deep, and this is kind of like my paranormal card too. So you're going really psychedelic inside of your mind, and the Moon here is basically you're seeing shadows too that look like monsters. Like you're hearing people's voices, like those conversations that are said, like very dramatic, and that's just the vibe I'm getting from you right now. So if you're not going through that, then this is not for you, but this is like a very specific reading where this person is like moving their heart, like they're walking away from something, and they're really choosing themselves and their love inside. All right. What's the advice for Aquarius? This is all going on. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right. Wounded warrior. Okay, so as you're going through this battle right now, you're setting up like your wall right here. Okay, and you're the wounded warrior going forward, but you're surviving, so that's good. All right, what's the outcome? Six of Swords. Okay, so hang in there. You're going from the Four of Swords here, the rest, and you're actually going to then make movement to a calmer shore where things are going to be more or less hectic. But you're going to go through a phoenix moment. Okay, that will lead to stability right after. So this final kind of like mental kind of transformation that you're having is going to be the last part of it, where you basically the mystery part is you walking through the valley here. You shall fear no evil. That saying, I shall walk through the valley of death and fear no evil, kind of thing. That's what you're doing right here, and so it's what I'm getting is it's basically having no fear of mortality. And I mean, this is a deep reading, so it's like kind of conquering your fear of death by just holding on to your passions and having your mind move forward in a calm way, because that's the only way that you should choose. Because the moon, the light of the moon, things aren't necessarily true. Like if you see like a shadow or something like that, or if you ever looked at like a face and like do you ever play the game with your kids and you have like a sleepover or something, you look at your friend's face and it can turn into like an animal or something like that, or just seeing different things in the light of the moon. That basically, what that is you controlling your mind to understand that that's an illusion and still walking forward, in your truth. Okay. All right. Underneath is the Ten of Pentacles here. So after you do that, you get over this last kind of hurdle that is your mind, which is very Aquarius-like too, because that's an air sign. It's very mental. Once you're able to control your mind and suppress your fear, you then move forward to success. All right. Let's get a couple of confirmation. I'm going to go to tarot on this one because this is kind of deep. I'm going to get a little bit more clarification. What is the moon spirit? So in the near future, the moon challenge that's going to dredge up all these emotions. Give me more clarification on spirit. No reversals. Come on, this bad. Thank you so much. Moon. King of Cups. So it's going to be very important with your heart and your love to basically be solid in a world that isn't solid, and to create your own love, and don't give any information on your love to other people freely without them, making commitment towards you. Hold your emotional energy close as you go through this cycle. Move through it quickly to victory, but you're moving somewhere else. So in your emotional landscape right now, like we saw the Eight of Cups before, you are moving on from how you feel right now. You're going to feel different about a person, place, or thing in the future. You just need to get to the other side of that. The advice is the Nine of Wands spirit. Six of Cups. Watch out for things from your past. The dredging up here, so this is, as you can see the symbol here for Scorpio, this is dredging up the past and old love situations, things that appeal to your heart. That could be family members too. It doesn't have to necessarily be a lover, or that, there's something that you love deeply in the past that wounded you, that basically you're going to have to face that fear going forward. All right, and the Six of Swords for Aquarius. The Chariot, again. I saw this at the bottom of the deck before. So the Chariot is the Lord of Triumph of Light, so you will be victorious. You will control those emotions, because that's exactly what the person on the Chariot does, is they control their emotions to guide the Chariot to victory. And the Nine of Pentacles. So this is another clue on what you need to do is don't be afraid while you're with yourself. You're never alone. Spirit's always with you, and you are a part of Spirit, so you can never die in that sense. Once energy is created, it can never be destroyed. Okay. All right, Aquarius, that was deep. I liked it. All right, let's go to Taurus. This was not as long. I kind of like this. This is good for short reading style. So, and I like to mix it up too. I think maybe we'll rotate the different styles between the different groups. All right, so last one for Taurus. Birthday season. Happy birthday, Taurus. My Pisces mug. Good birthday gift. All right, what do we got for Taurus? And we'll do a fancy oracle card too for birthday celebration. We'll say. All right. Past, present, future advice and outcomes for Taurus. No reversal of divine inspired. Thank you so much, Spirit. What is in the recent past for Taurus? Recent past. Hangman. All right. I think this is the theme right now for the fixed signs, is that you've been held back, which is, very hard for a stubborn sign to actually be suspended in a certain way that they don't want to be. But Spirit had to give you all like a collective timeout, so that you could see a different way of doing things and to start taking control of your life again. So the person at the castle has to make a decision. Are they going to leave the castle and go out and follow their passion, or are they going to stay within the castle? So these are all metaphors for your life. What is your castle? What have you already done in your life that now you need to do differently in order to explore the world in a new way? What's present for Taurus, Spirit? Thank you so much. Queen of Swords. Okay. So this is you kind of like transforming, but also transforming your circle around you. Okay. That's going to be very important. For celebrations going forward, it's going to be, Justice here too. So take a second, take a look here. Justice with the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is beckoning justice closer for the truth. I want to keep this card here. Let's see, I think basically it's you being honest with yourself in how you need to face life in this stage of your life. What is your life going to look like? How is it going to look differently than what it looked like in the past? Are you just going to repeat a past cycle? Because you're basically at the new here. You've been hung, and now you have a new perspective on life. Are you going to choose that new perspective, or are you going to go with the status quo? What is the advice for Taurus, Spirit? Thank you so much. Advice to the High Priestess. So you need to basically do what feels right. And almost need to not have to do too much. Like let your feelings dictate your actions. So if you feel like you are what should I say, delaying something, it means that you really don't want to do it at that moment. So schedule it for another time. Instead of torturing yourself, when your emotions feel right for you to do it, then do that. Stop feeling abandoned and stressed out. So abandonment and stress right now for Taurus. How do we get rid of that? We get rid of that by basically having a new perspective on life and creating a new way of living. What is the outcome for Taurus, Spirit? Thank you so much. Outcome. Page of Wands. Okay, so this is very positive. So this is the exploration card here and getting your passion back. So kind of like what I was talking about, follow your passion to lead you into different new areas. So if you don't feel right by doing your old things, or if they feel boring in any sort of way, change them. I mean, it's kind of simple in that sense. And this person right here, we talked about another fixed sign, is basically losing the taste for what they did in the past and wanting something new. So what they have to do is take the two cups, which is basically themselves. It's their it's the duality of life, the male and feminine within them. They take those two cups and they go forward. Okay? It's a whole self moving forward, not basing themselves on their experience, because their experience has faded. So they need to reform themselves around new experiences. I'm shuffling, so let's get one more card. Just go with it. Okay, Two of Wands. And that was under the deck before, so it's coming out again. So this is a crossroads card. Basically, it's a choice, right? And what I'm seeing with the Page of Wands here is the outcome is that you're going to leave the castle. But what this is saying is the reason why you're leaving is because you've done everything where you are. You know, the reason why sometimes if there's any sort of like negativity within us, sometimes it's because we are confining ourselves in a certain structure that makes it very, emotionally negative. Because we're not stretching ourselves, or we're not challenging ourselves, or not exploring things of that nature. We're kind of just being stuck. All right, cool. All right, and let's go to... I'm going to pull out this is one of my favorite Oracle decks. It's the Dark Light Oracle. Okay. This goes everywhere from like love to like different kind of seasons and what to do, advice, and it's a really good deck. If you enjoy it, let's get a couple of them out. Okay, so for Taurus, angels, ancestors, guides, and spiritual beings, thank you so much. Readings for Taurus. No reversals, divine inspired. Thank you so much. This full moon, so the full moon in Scorpio activated this drudging up of your past situation so that you must face it now. There's ghosts here. Okay. So this is the ghosts of your past that are keeping you chained down. And your earth sign, right? And saying to purify yourself. So any toxins in your life you have to get control of right now. All right, last card, Spirit. Thank you so much. This is my favorite card in the deck. It's luck. So the good news is Uranus has left your sign. So I think it was on the 26th. So basically the cosmic, I called it a cosmic beatdown yesterday, but basically the cosmic disruption of like things just being torn apart, tower moments where things are just destroyed and your foundation has been kind of uprooted. That's all now turning to luck because that karma is coming back. So you need to take advantage of that by getting rid of any kind of those toxic elements that you needed to just get by, which we all get, times are tough. You're going to lean on certain things, right? And they may not be, exactly the best things for us. But this is saying it's time now. It's your time. Just start anew. All right, last card. Actually, I want more. Taurus Spirit. Alignment. Okay. So it's very important to get in line right here and now. And that's like the justice. That's like to even the scales, to become aligned again, to not, have an up and down situation where you're going tremendous highs, lead to tremendous lows. It's staying even, okay? Where you're not, things are not like exciting in the sense of like dramatic, but you're purposely holding back so that you can have an even movement and not ride the waves right now. Because every once in a while we need to actually just chill. move forward. Okay. All right. Great. All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody. We'll do the cardinal signs possibly Thursday. All right. All right. Thanks a lot. And Mad Hermit Tarot is the other page to check out for free readings. All right. Bye.